Jason Turner was like most young men in their 20s, full of dreams, ambitions, and a heart that beat with the hope of achieving something great in life. He had always imagined himself becoming successful, wealthy, and respected. He often visualized himself giving motivational talks on big stages, writing best-selling books, and traveling the world. But there was one big problem. Jason was always waiting for the right time to begin. Every morning he would wake up with a thought, "I'll start today." But by afternoon he would be glued to his phone, endlessly scrolling social media. Hours would pass as he watched videos, played games, or switched from one streaming show to another. Deep down, he knew he was wasting time, but he told himself the same lie each day. "It's okay, I'll make up for it tomorrow." Tomorrow, the magic word that gives false hope to procrastinators. Jason wasn't lazy, he simply lacked urgency. He kept a notebook filled with brilliant ideas. He had half-written business plans, unread self-help books on his shelf, and a gym membership he hadn't used in months. His calendar was always filled with tasks and deadlines, but none were ever met. He was constantly busy, yet he had no results to show for it. Then one day, everything changed. It was a cold autumn morning when Jason received a call that would shake him to his core. His mother's voice was trembling on the other end. His father, who had been quietly battling a long-term illness, had taken a sudden turn for the worse. Jason rushed to the hospital, heart pounding, mind spinning, but by the time he reached there, it was too late. His father had passed away. As he sat silently in the hospital waiting room, Jason felt numb. His mother wept beside him, but he couldn't cry. All he could think about was how quickly time had slipped by. He remembered all the times his father had invited him for a walk, a coffee, a simple chat. Jason was always too busy. Now he'd give anything for just 5 more minutes. His father had been a man of great discipline, an ordinary man who lived an extraordinary life because he respected time. He had built a stable home, maintained lasting relationships, and earned the admiration of everyone who knew him. And he had done it not through luck, but through consistency. He made every minute count. That day, Jason understood something his father had always tried to teach him. Time is not money, it's more valuable than money. That night, Jason couldn't sleep. He stood by the window of his apartment watching the city lights flicker. The world was still moving, time was still ticking, but something inside him had changed. The next morning, Jason woke up at 5:30 a.m. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He sat with his notebook, and for the first time in years, he wrote a plan. Not just a dream, but a daily plan. No vague goals like become rich or get fit. His list said, read for 30 minutes, go for a 20-minute jog, complete one freelance project, call mom. Small steps, realistic steps, achievable steps. Jason didn't become a success overnight. The first few weeks were hard. His body resisted the early mornings. His mind craved the dopamine of social media. Old habits whispered in his ears. But Jason had made a promise to himself at his father's grave. "I won't waste another day." So he fought through the resistance. He deleted social media apps from his phone. He replaced Netflix with audiobooks. Instead of numbing his evenings with distractions, he used them to build his health, his mind, his future. He started freelancing online, offering his writing and design skills. The first few clients paid little, but Jason wasn't chasing money anymore. He was chasing discipline. With every project, he learned something new. With every early morning, he felt more in control. Soon, Jason noticed something incredible happening. He felt lighter, not just physically from exercising, but mentally. The anxiety that had once haunted him, the pressure of not being enough, began to fade. He was no longer a slave to time, he was its master. His relationships improved too. He became more present with his family. He listened more, argued less. He reconnected with old friends and apologized for missed moments. People began to notice his change. He wasn't the lazy dreamer anymore. He was the doer. Within a year, Jason had built a solid online income. He had published his first ebook and his blog was gaining followers. He had developed a routine, a rhythm, a purpose. He wasn't perfect, he still had bad days, but he never let them turn into bad weeks. And then one afternoon, something remarkable happened. Jason received an email from a major media platform. They had read his blog and were impressed by his journey. They wanted him to speak on their virtual platform about time management and personal growth. Jason stared at the screen in disbelief. This was the moment he had once dreamed of. But now, he didn't feel surprised. He felt ready. When the day of the talk came, Jason stood in front of his camera and shared his story. He didn't talk about hacks or shortcuts. He talked about regret, about his father, about how respecting time changed everything. He ended his talk with these words: "Time is the most powerful, unforgiving, and precious force in the universe. You can't slow it, pause it, or reverse it. Every moment you waste is a piece of your life you'll never get back. But here's the good news: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Respect time, and it will respect you back." That talk went viral. Thousands of people were moved. Emails poured in from all over the world, people thanking Jason, people changing their routines, people starting again. Jason went on to write a best-selling book titled Every Second Counts. He launched a coaching program, mentored hundreds of young adults, and traveled across countries sharing his journey. But he never let success distract him. Every morning he still woke up early. He still read, he still ran, he still called his mom. Because Jason knew the truth. Success isn't built in a single moment, it's built in the moments most people waste. Years later, during an interview, a journalist asked Jason, "What do you think is the biggest difference between the old you and the new you?" Jason smiled and replied, "The old me waited for the right time. The new me understands the right time is now." This story isn't just about Jason, it's about all of us. We all have dreams. We all want success, love, growth, and purpose. But the one thing separating those who live their dreams from those who only imagine them is how they treat their time. If you want to transform your life, you don't need to wait for next Monday, next month, or next year. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to stop wasting time. Respect time. Because in the end, it's not the money you made, the followers you gained, or the fame you earned that defines your life. It's how you used the one resource you can never get back. Use it wisely. Start today.